I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. This week's podcast is going to be devoted to a recently, what came out last week, report by the Inspector General, and I spent a lot of time on it with my loan underwriting class. So let's go ahead and do a clip on that, and I think you'll enjoy the commentary.
And there were two cases that OIG reviewed. There were 190 early defaulted loans. Early default is a loan that defaults within 18 months of the first payment and over $500,000. Of the 190, they pulled 9. Now, they said they have a little selective screening process, so I don't know exactly how they do that. But this was one loan that had these 4 issues. Yep. There was an eligibility issue, and how they determined that is the OIG actually went in and read the franchise agreement, complicated transaction where you had a hotel owner who was going with 2 franchise brands. Chuck, one of the things I always say is that when you have complications, that doesn't mean don't do it. It's a red flag. Just take a step back and clearly understand what's happening. And the reason why OIG said this was ineligible, because in the franchise agreement, they were not allowed to do a competing franchise within, 100 miles or whatever. And here they had competing franchises on the same property.
Just comments.
Collateral issues. The collateral, you have to remember, on a hotel, these are small business loans, and so they need to be valued by an expert SBA appraiser who can understand that this is not a real estate loan, this is a small business loan. You have to look at the cash flow of the business. Equity injection, $700,000. Chuck, we keep on making this mistake as an industry. We only verify $200,000.
That's a common mistake, and that's certainly repair at the least.
Yep. A minimum repair, and well, in this case, it went to denial. And again, the debt refinance, where the lender made the mistake, who was not named, by the way, so is if you refinance the debt, the original debt has to be eligible when you refinance the debt. So we'll be writing about this. It's a lot of good information there. The thing that I want to stress on this in both of these case studies, Chuck, is OIG does not say, hey, do this if you made one mistake. The common theme on these cases is there's a litany of mistakes.
Yeah, there's several.
Yeah, and they're not going to hang the lender out for one. And again, this one as well, the projections, there were no assumptions on the projections. Yeah, it's a combination of errors. Chuck, when you're working with lenders, what are you telling them about these type of case studies?
Well, these things shouldn't be surprising, Bob. We've talked for 2 years now about Congress mandating to the SBA that they have to police these lenders, and now they're starting to do it. Susan Strike has teeth with Office of Credit Risk Management. The IG is now back looking at these. So it's coming, and we need to make sure that we cross these T's and dot the I's, and if there's a gray area, like this franchise, that should have been submitted GP, because that's a denial for eligibility. Yeah. If that wasn't there, you could probably look at a repair for the equity injection if you verified part of it.
And I want to talk about these projections. SBA does not mandate how you have to calculate cash flow. They say in the report the lender failed to get a 1.15 to 1 debt service coverage. But they don't tell you that you have to do it off tax returns, financial statements. They will allow you to do it off of projections. Now, where the OIG nailed the lender was they were underwater. I think the numbers were 0.6, 0.5. They were all in, but the lender can do it off projections. The problem is that now it's easy Monday morning quarterbacking because the loan defaults within 12 months, so obviously there was an issue, but the lender failed to support the projections. So I'm not advocating this at all, by the way, but if you do it, first of all, I wouldn't do it, but if you do it, you better make sure those projections are clearly stated in terms of the assumptions.
Ben Copeland of Life Ease stopped by our booth and enjoy the conversation. Ben Copeland Copeland, Life Ease, specialist in financing life insurance product for SBA loan borrowers. How's that working?
Well, that's a great question. I'd love to give you a good answer. LifeEase works with lenders all around the country. Our predominant products are life and disability as required for an SBA loan.
Ben, how long does it take? I'm the borrower. I'm anxious to get my money. How long does it take before I get a piece of paper from you that lets me get my money from the SBA lender?
And that's a great question, because a lot of times what happens is the borrower waits till the last minute. They want to wait till they're approved before they even start to work on the insurance process, and traditionally it's taken 6 to 8 weeks. Because we're a technology company and we're interconnected with the carriers, it only takes us about 4 to 5 days to be able to get the policy and the executed collateral assignment.
Nice. Life insurance rates, I assume, are very reasonable because of the low interest rates?
Well, interest rates specifically don't have an effect. It really has more to do with mortality. But the nice thing about it is with 50 different carriers, we're able to shop and find the very lowest possible price. We know one thing about them is they're not taking a loan for purposes of buying life insurance. So we want to get them the lowest rate possible, be able to apply all their funds as much as put toward their business efforts.
How do you like this event as an SBA lending event, America West?
This is a great meeting for us because we're able to interface with a lot of the lenders around the country that are really making things happen. We get great feedback from them. We're able to help find future opportunities and develop relationships, and we learn a lot too just by attending. So it's a beneficial all around.
What percentage of your business is SBA loan related?
I would say probably on the Life East side about 65% of it. And then a lot of what we do is with just traditional lenders. They still want to make sure that their collateral is protected, that if something happens that's adverse, that the risk is going to be protected. They get their loan paid off, and the client's able to work with their heirs to be able to keep their business going.
I did a webinar today. In fact, it was on writing the credit memo. The number one screen out by SBA on a GP loan is life insurance is not addressed in the credit memo. So it's very specific. If there's a collateral shortfall, you have to make it up with life insurance.
And I think lenders sometimes forget that there's a benefit for them as well in requiring the life insurance. The client's able to make sure that the loan is paid off, and from a lender's position, you don't have to try to distribute assets. You're able to just get the loan paid off and let the family deal with with how they want to distribute the business.
Ben, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today for the Coleman Report Update and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.